When I see the activity of mind, when it's being observed, when there's identity, all it takes is a quick stop, quick turning inward, and that confirmation is there. It's right here. This awareness is. It's not going anywhere. And it never left. I can go back and go, did it ever leave in my experience? And no. It's never left. It's always been right here. And so at what point do what I'm just wanting to check or expose, am I being lazy by just doing that quick check and then continuing on in the activity of...
The awareness you admit doesn't leave. So who is it and what is it that leaves? You say the awareness, it's always there. It is always there. Okay? But you are not always there. Because, you see, you already speak from a place, but what do I need to do? I just need to look back and then I can go back. So who is this agent that comes in and go out? This is what I want to clarify with you, because are you speaking from and as awareness, or as something, as a visitor, a tourist in awareness, that you go back there, or that you're essentially awareness, but a part-time person? And then very often you go out to work in the person world and then ping, and then go back to the consciousness. You see? So where you are speaking from and who you are speaking as is determining how you register your own, where's your position. Because you are speaking as the one who goes out and then comes back, as the identity itself comes back. And it wants to know, what am I doing, or what can I do to stabilize in this? So reality is given more to the attention you're putting on your person, you see. And it's the person consciousness, it's also consciousness. I want to know, what can I do to just stay as the consciousness? You are the consciousness. When you go back to consciousness, but you are the consciousness. So what happens is that the favorite hanging out place for consciousness, when it is expressing in the form of a person or a human being, is in the form, I am this body, I am this identity. It expresses as that. It lives in that self-portrait as being a person. And then what happens is that in the person's world, things don't work according to the person's projections or idea. Then it is meant to be like that, so that it gets gradually frustrated with its projections and have to find solace or a retreat back into its own source. It is connected with the source, but at present it is more identified with the projection, with the person. And it's that thing you're asking from the position of the person, how can I come back and stay as a consciousness? Is it like that a bit?
I didn't know, but yes. But I was also asking too, am I being lazy by just doing the quick check and saying, okay, yes, I am awareness, so...
Yeah.
Because whenever I look for the interested one, it's not there. It can't be found. It could be seen initially and then...
Yeah. In the instant that you look for the interested one and not find it, then what is your position?
Presence.
Yes.
And even presence is seen, and with a little more turning in, that can also disappear as well.
Yes.
And there's a laziness to not do that extra step.
Yes. While the show is still vivid, while the play still has a sense of reality about it, then the reality is imbued in the play from the identity that consciousness is wearing. If it wears as a person, then the play becomes much more virile, more sticky. When it is viewed from the place of presence, which is impersonal, there's more space in the play. The play goes on, but you're not a victim there. Somehow perceiving of everything that's arising is occurring to you as the weakness, but it's almost you're on the bridge between two wells. And from this place you can look this way into the world of phenomenality and relationships and personhood, and then this side into infinite consciousness. So to be on the bridge is better than to be over in the land of the person, but the more time you spend only being on the bridge, then the bridge keeps getting longer and longer. Then you may even buy a house there. So this is the state of presence even, which is beautiful, because you don't get entangled. You're almost enjoying both. But you're a little bit in between. Sometimes from the place of presence, somehow it collapses into that pure awareness. But then something comes back out again, and may even go back even further, So this movement of positions is still in the world of phenomenality, you see. As you become more grounded in your awareness that you are the awareness itself, then you can move into those regions, but they become more superficial, more playful. It will not have the kind of consequence that it will have while you're in a state of personhood or even in a state of presence. You see? How to do this, how to do it. Once you come to the state of presence meaning that you are aware of the body and the senses and sensations that we call life, and the function of memory and intellect and imagination and actuality, all of these things are playing for you. And you enjoy through them, but you're not so stained by them. No? That's a place of presence. The sense of love for the self is growing. The more it grows into itself, the less attraction it will have for the world. At some point, your self-love combusts into complete unicity. It is happening naturally. Just like if you fall in love with someone, the love wants to grow, it wants to expand. Nobody is required. You don't need anyone to remind you to remember your beloved. It is caught inside the trap, in the net of your own love. It just wants to expand. And once you have tasted this self-taste of the self, you just want to go all the way. But if we still have some investment in the realm of duality, and then we want to protect that as well too, because there's a sense of vulnerability, and you don't want to have anything happen to your attachments, because you will feel pain through them. So you will have investments in the world of phenomenality, which is a kind of binding, and at the same time you have aspiration for the true. But you cannot walk on two roads at the same time somehow. So there's a feeling that this coming and going may happen for a time, but something is pushing to go into one element or the other one. Like this it comes. This is why I ask you sometime, are you an object in front of the lens of perception, or are you behind the lens of perception? You understood this question? Are you an object in front of the lens of perception? Or are you behind the lens of perception? Or are you both? Or are you beyond the whole of that? Or are you sometimes? It's worth to just reflect on that a little bit, And you can see when, yes, when I go into my story, I'm very much in front of the lens. I'm inside the lens. And so what is behind the lens looking? You're also there. And the moment you confirm that, a greater power is felt in the weakness than in the person. If this witnessing ability does not come to light, then you will just know yourself as a person. And it is a form of consciousness, but a very restricted, very limited form of consciousness, which you may not know until you have a taste of the unlimited. Because you can only evaluate or assess one state as you're coming out of it into another one. When you're fully in one state, you don't know what you are. You don't know, you have no measure to compare. But as you're coming out of one state, you can look back and feel, oh, I didn't know I was so tense before. But when you didn't know a contrast, you only knew this tension, then it was life. As soon as you begin to taste the inner freedom, then you start to see your bondage, isn't it? And it creates a kind of war. Because one part wants to go to full freedom, another part is still holding on to past imagination. This struggle happens, you see. But love wins. What you love more, like there's a saying, I grew up with this saying, you become what you love. The more you're in love with the self, the more you move away from the non-self. At one time, it will become so intensely powerful, this love for the self, that you cannot bear duality. You see? When you cannot bear duality, what's going to happen then? You come into total unicity, and then what will happen to the duality that we love? It simply becomes expression of the unicity. It's not that it goes up and family, everybody, everything is gone, and you are just there alone as emptiness. We have to speak like this because there's a lot of fears around that. There's an old saying. It says, when the world is seen, God is not seen. And when God is seen, the world is not seen. Then you think, oh my God. Oh my God. As long as I'm seeing the world, I'm not discovering the true. But as soon as I discover the true, the world disappears. What it means not the form of the world disappear, but the meaning it has for you. Because there isn't anything that has one single meaning for everybody. And each one have their own meaning. You see? So what is the true meaning of the thing? Maybe it has no meaning. As soon as the self is realized in the heart completely, this entire universe becomes for you the embodiment of God, of truth. It's just this, not, I just got married last week, I can't afford for my wife to be nothing just yet. Because if the wife vanished, the husband is gone also. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. You love yourself to death.
I will.
Huh?
I will.
Yes.